As I said, that I believe the scientists. It is like when my child is sick and has a huge fever, and I go to 100 doctors, and 98 doctors say this child needs immediate medical care, and 2 say no, forget it, go home and just relax. I go with the 98. I mean, that's as simple as that. And so I think that, when you have, just recently, almost, 4,000 scientists from all over the world, I mean, the huge majority of scientists saying that this is actually much worse than what we thought. And it's faster, and you will feel it very soon in your own state and in your own country. And we are feeling it already. We have the earliest wildfires in California that we have ever had. We have, fast runoffs and floods in the winter and less drinking water in the summer. I mean, there's things that we see, the rising sea level we are seeing, that we have now a major problem with our delta, that we have to rebuild and do something about our delta because it's pushing the salt water in, which will wipe out all the farms in California. So we are seeing right now tremendous threat that we have to act as Californians and I think as Americans very quickly. So this is why I think that debate is over for me. And I think it should be for everyone else. I think that we should take this seriously, and I think that we should fight global warming and do everything that we can. And we should not forget that we can protect both. We can protect the economy and the environment, because with the new green, clean technology that's coming out, that will make businesses boom once again. Like I said, in California, we are seeing it happening already. It's a very good point, and I think the most important thing is that we have to make it attractive. Whenever something new comes out, normally, when you look at the first cars and the models, they look terrible. And, someone like myself didn't want to be seen with a car like that. So now, all of a sudden, it changes. Like, let's say, the Tesla is a perfect example. That car looks like a Ferrari. And it is, I got into the car, I turned on the engine, and I kept, turning on the engine, and I said to the guy that was with me, that race car driver, expert in that particular car, I said, well, how do you turn on the engine? He says, it's on. There was no sound. Now think about how cool that is. No sound at all. And then I stepped on the gas pedal, and it jerked my head back. That's how fast the car is, and how powerful the car is. So you would never relate a car that is not fossil fuel car, that they would be that powerful in such a muscle car, that car was. And so that's what we have to do. This is why that car, even though it was $100,000, it sold out immediately, because that's what people want. The same as they want to drive the Hummer, they want to drive the SUV, but let's change the technology. Let's not get rid of the Hummer and the SUV. Let's change the technology and make those engines powerful, but with biofuel or electric. So this is what we have to do. That's how you get the people involved. And this is why I say the movement didn't work as well in the past, even though they did a great job, and there were a lot of great environmentalists that have done an extraordinary job to get us to the place where we are today. But I think we got to get rid of the guilt and really make it kind of attractive, the whole thing, and mainstream, so people do want to become part of the whole thing. So I think that what the media is doing right now, the amount of coverage that it's giving global warming and how we all can participate, I think it's extraordinary, and I think that will really make the thing tip. But I think that, as I said earlier, that we have already seen, because of the green, clean technology, that we see in California exploding, and this race, of being part of the investment, we see that left and right in the economy, that it has a tremendous impact. People were so worried that when we set certain standards in California, that will mean people will lose jobs and companies will move out of the state, and because they will not be able to sell their products. But quite the opposite has happened. What has happened is that we have created more jobs than ever. We have now, in the last 3 years, since we've started changing and coming in with passing environmental laws, we've created 850,000 more jobs since then. So as you can see, we can do both. You can protect the economy, we can build the economy, create the jobs, and at the same time go and set really tough standards on environment and fight global warming. So these two go totally sync and sync.
Andy Nagorski, Newsweek. I'm glad you like our cover this week.
I loved it. I have to say one thing that this was the most difficult thing that I've ever done. Balance the globe on my finger, but here's the odd thing again. I mean, before I could balance an Oscar on my finger, I'm getting to balance the whole globe on my finger. So it was a great thing to do. I think that it is fair because anything is fair when it comes to public people. You know, if you are in entertainment, if you're in politics and anything like that, I think that the people have a right to know, what do you do? You know, you maybe are out there. I mean, there's entertainers out there that talk a big game about the environment. So people should know, well, you know, the interesting thing is that person flies also with private jets. Just like everyone else. He has also a big car, an SUV, and gets driven around by an SUV. So it's just another spin. That doesn't mean that we should discredit that person. Not by any means, because no matter what Al Gore does, and no matter how many big cars he has, let's assume he has some, I don't know what vehicles he drives, or if he ever flies a private jet, but let's assume he does, and he has a whole bunch of big cars, and the engines that are produced. It makes no difference to me, because the fact of the matter is he has created so much inspiration, and he has done so much in order to move the environmental movement forward, that it is okay in the end. I still appreciate what he has accomplished. And so as far as that goes with Edwards or anyone else that is talking about the environment, so one can mention it, but it should not really be kind of like you turning against them.
Thank you, Governor. You're an inspiration.
Absolutely.
Thank you.